All right, so guys, we are going to get started with our call about today, particularly is getting organized. Anybody need any organization in their lives? Anybody? Raise the hand. Yes? Okay, I think, like, I don't think I've ever said anybody is like, no, I pretty much got it all covered. I got life. It's like, no, probably need a little bit of help. So hopefully we will help you today. We won't solve every problem, but we'll hopefully maybe solve a few, which will be great. And excited to have you guys on the call tonight. Once again, reminder for y'all that we are going to hopefully equip and inspire you tonight as busy coaches with some essentials. And guys, really what we're going to try to do here is I'm going to try to help you with your belief in the ability, because the thing that is so difficult for a lot of coaches, especially as you're getting started, is the fact that your belief tends to be low along with your knowledge, okay? And as we build knowledge, belief builds. Can you understand how that works? So the fact when you are like, there's a lot of unknowns, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get people to sign up. I don't know how I'm going to start conversation. Inviting scares the heck out of me, and all these things. And so initially, that's your beginning point. But when we equip you, which is what we really want to be doing here as your team, ultimately your fear is going to start to come down and your belief is going to increase. And as your belief increases, the cool part is that that's when you actually make a difference in more and more people's lives. And then in effect, what that does for you is it builds your business. See how that kind of works? So it's this kind of symbiotic thing. As you learn more about helping people, ultimately you're going to build your business because your belief is going to build, and then you actually help people better, and then your business builds more. And each level, guys, just being straight with you, I have my belief issues sometimes as well in the beginning of this. So, not in the beginning of this, like right now. So I've had belief issues all along, but your belief, there's struggles that change all the time. So like right now, more of my issues right now is like, okay, how can I equip people to actually help others? Versus in the beginning, it was more about me just helping others. Now it's like, how I'm going to try to equip you guys to be able to help others. So that's the whole thing, is like, can I effectively do that? And how well can we do that? So just realize that we're all in that journey together. So we all raise our hands. We're all in this together, that it is sometimes a challenge. And sometimes we just need to learn more from each other and so support each other. That's why we have a coach club, which is great. All right. So shout out particularly to the newer coaches. So Christina and Danielle, I'll call you guys newer coaches. Shout out to you guys. Bam. Both of you. Fist bump. Everybody fist bump the screen. Go. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Just did it. That was amazing. Focused funnel, guys. Once again, want to hit this real fast. It's up at the top of the coach club. Is kind of a process to help you stay focused. And we're going to get a little bit more into some of this today as we roll into how we're going to manage our time better. But these, particularly some of these 5 steps, guys, can really, if done consistently, ultimately it's going to help you build your business pretty well. Okay. And that's really starting conversations each day, having some good quality posts within your social media, following up on the interactions that happen on that social media, and then running free challenges. In the beginning, that's going to be a challenge for some of you guys. Like, I can't run my own, but yet you can always hop on with another coach. And what we're going to do, just so you know, our new training is we're working out some things. We're working on some good. It's called quickstartmycoaching.com. There's going to be a new website that's going to be finished by the end of April. Which I'm very excited for. And part of that is going to be very specifically how to get your first free challenge rolling, okay? And like really equip you well to be able to do a strong first free challenge, which will be hopefully helpful. And then, of course, 5 to 10 daily invites to challenges. Now, some of you, that's freaking out because you're only doing like 0 or 1 right now, and that's okay. So, but part of it's we're going to build your belief, and you'll get to that place where it's like, okay, that's decently normal. And that doesn't mean you're inviting every day to a paid challenge every time. That might be just inviting to a free challenge. Hold on, get a quick drink. All right, got to do some shout outs, got to do some recognition. That's one of our vital behaviors. So Success Club lives changed. Really excited. This is from last month. So wanted to give a shout out because it's so early in the beginning of the month. And there may have been some people who have already got Success Club points in the beginning of this month already, which is great. So congratulations to you. But congrats specifically to Kelsey Combs, who is leading the whole pack today, which has been great. Is this the right slide? I think I got the wrong slide. I think she's at 26 because I'm at 19. Steph, shoot. Hold on 1 second. I think I got the wrong slide here. 2 seconds, kids. Hold on. Let me make sure I got the right slide. I'll make sure to give absolutely the right information because y'all work so hard. You need the right kind of recognition. So very fast here. 1, 2. Let's see. Oh, yes. Totally not right. Hold on. Grabbing and dragging. Better. Okay, delete that thing, whatever that was. All right. Better slide. Bam. Okay, so Kelsey at 26. Can we hear for Kelsey to lead the team? Good job, Kelsey. Good work. I was at 19 this past month. And we got Claire and Steph both at 8, which is great. And then look at all these people on the board. I'm loving it. I love seeing this. We got Valerie, we got Jen, we got Michelle, we've got Linda, Pam, Leslie, Jamie, Sherry, Brandy, Bonnie, all you guys getting on the board, which has been great. And so I just got to say a huge shout out to all of you as you're doing this, making changes. And you guys, so Success Club is really about lives being changed. And that's really what every 2 of those numbers is a person. So if we calculated this, that'd be a lot of folks that we're impacting. We just impacted in the month of February alone, which I think is really, really significant. So congrats to your hard work or for your hard work on all that stuff. Now, as it relates to volume, we had some leaders this week, which is the past week. And it's Claire up top for that past week. Then we got Stephanie, Kelsey, and Nancy. First time on the board for Nancy. So congrats, Nancy. I know you're going to be probably watching this because she said she had to get to bed a little bit early tonight. So congratulations to her. Chip, Randy, John, Valerie, and Michelle all doing well, doing great stuff as well. So guys, thanks for, and this is, guys, just so you know, the way volume differs than Success Club. This is really ultimately, if you are Emerald rank and above, which means ultimately where you're going to start to, you'll have 2 coaches underneath you. Again, one on your left leg, one on your right leg. Ultimately, that's where you start to develop what are called team cycle bonuses. And those team cycle bonuses is where you start to get residual income that pulls you out of being just what we call a retail-only coach. Now, initially, guys, just so you know, retail-only coach is very normal and very natural because really what you're trying to develop is first of all, your customer base in the beginning. And then over time, those customers make progress. And some of you guys are exactly examples of that. So Christina, Danielle, exact examples of that. Customers who are like, okay, let's see what this whole thing is. I'm making some great progress. I believe in this. I want to see if I could actually offer this to others, okay? And then so you are actually part of this volume, okay, is what ends up happening. So that, like Kelsey's 270, Christina, that's partly you, which is kind of cool. And then over time, the coaches you would potentially sign up, they would feed into you, and you're going to make it up onto this board as that would develop, as you kind of help others make progress. And that's how you make residual income, guys. And just being real, my first about 1.5 years, 2 years of doing coaching, I was like, I'm going to sell challenge packs. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm never going to sign a coach because I'm afraid of it. I was like, I don't want to ask anybody because I'm afraid they'll say no, and I'm scared. And honestly, guys, I just had this kind of I would have a lot of people get in Success Club, but I didn't have a lot of retention because, honestly, the expense of Shakeology, and when you can get people who ultimately they get a discount on it, number one, and maybe if they find a few people can help get it paid for, they're going to retain, being truthful, a lot longer on it and stay healthy themselves, which I think is a great model, is a great business model. And so I'm just going to encourage y'all, if you're afraid of asking people to become coaches, we're going to make sure we equip you with proper scripting at the ends of your challenges So you got that scripting, so you know how to approach people in a way that doesn't come off as salesy, but really comes off as an advocate for their health moving forward. Because what we're really trying to, guys, do is to really develop lifestyles of health and fitness. And lifestyles isn't just in about a single sale. Okay, when it comes to this, it's really, we're trying to help people understand that the longer term is going to be, wow, the belief in Shakeology and how just fantastic this product is that we get to sell each month relates to their health and fitness journey. Okay, so just giving you some input on for that, which is great. Very good. What else do we need to do here? Got that. Yeah, I'm going to go down here real quick to our Super Sunday. So Super Sunday is this Sunday for a lot of people. Super Saturday if you are not in the Michiana area. I just found out for y'all who are for the Indy one for Indianapolis here, guys. This is there's only 55 tickets now left available. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, I would say get it ASAP, because it's really, really critical for you to get that, or you're going to miss out, because these will sell out probably by, I would imagine, by Thursday. So just get it if you're going to plan on being there. And if you are going to be there, let us know. There's actually an event in the coach club for the Indiana coaches that are doing this. If you're not in the Indiana area, you still can go to Super Saturday. All you need to do, it's either Super Saturday or Super Sunday, depending on your area. Just go into your back office. If you don't know how to get in your back office, ask your coach. But what we would do is in that there's an events tab. It says news and events, and you can find events and then find Super Saturday and then do a search by your state, okay, by your area. And it's great, guys. Honestly, some of them, depending where you're at in terms of bigger cities tend to have bigger Super Saturdays or Super Sundays. Smaller cities tend to be a little bit smaller, but it's always great to get together with other coaches, regardless of where you are at. A quick question. Let's see. Great. Andy's coming from the land of Lincoln over to Hoosier land for us. So that's great. So Andy, I'm glad you'll be there. Super. So that's good stuff. All righty. Anything else for the good of the order regarding that? Anybody questions on those things? All righty. Let's get back to basics. All right. You guys ready to get organized? Anybody? All right. This is going to be a shout out in the chat. Okay. Who of you tends to be highly, and I'm just going to ask this, there's going to be generally, this is a big generalization, but you have to pick which side you are closer to. Are you bigger picture or smaller detail? Are you bigger picture or smaller detail? Type into the chat right now, if you would. I want to know what we got out there. Bigger picture, smaller detail. Got 3, smaller detail. Look at all you smaller detail guys. I'm a crazy dreamer. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. John Lennon, anybody? No? Okay. Wow, so all small. We got almost all smaller details except for me and Kelsey on this one. Can't decide, says Steph. Steph, I'd say you probably are a decent balance, but I would say you're a little bit bigger picture as a whole. But just, yeah, who knows? Can't decide. That's okay. And so what happens, guys, so either side of this, people tend to still struggle with organization, okay? And let me just kind of talk to the challenges of the personality type. So the bigger picture folks, like me, we tend to have like tons of billions of things, ideas that running in our head. It's like all these things we can do, and we just like say yes, 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 yes. We try to throw them on a calendar. We try to throw them into a planner, and it just goes into chaos, right? And that's where we get overwhelmed, and we go, Smaller detail people, on the other hand, what tends to happen is y'all may still, and again, you can tell me wrong in this because I'm not your personality type, but from having worked with a lot of detailed people, is what tends to happen is a smaller size plate with not as many things what still happens is you want to work out all the details in ahead, and you like want to think, okay, ahead, I've got to plan for this and this and this and this and this. And then things don't necessarily go according to plan. And then you go, frustrated. I wanted that to work out more, or whatever. You had a specific system that you wanted to see happen. And what I would say, guys, is that it's really, really critical to understand that part of coaching, especially when it relates to coaching, and what we're going to try to do here is talk a little bit about life, and we're going to talk a little bit about coaching, and we're going to talk about how they integrate, okay? Because I think it's important to understand that coaching is not life, okay? There are things other than coaching in life, and I think we need to realize that, and we need to value those things. We need to make sure that they have priority in our lives, obviously, because that's why we live and why we do what we do, hopefully, in this. Hold on, let me call my notes here real fast. Wait a minute. Okay. But here's the thing I'm going to kind of, to let you know, it's all going to be about, in terms of getting organized, there'll never be a day, okay? I want to just give you this kind of peace of mind to understand. There'll never be a day when every duck will be in line and every T will be crossed and every I will be dotted. It's never going to happen, okay? So if you ever think that that's going to be happening, especially when it comes to coaching, because there are these things that are involved in coaching, and it's called people, right? So when people get involved and people don't sometimes do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it, anybody ever frustrated by that? Come on now, you got to say, right, everybody? So someone says they're going to purchase a challenge back by whatever date, and they don't, and you miss the end of the month, and you're like, oh, I missed Success Club for that month. Darn it, because that one person, and then they bought the next day. They bought on the first of the month or the second of the month. And you're like, what the heck? And so really, guys, the point is, in all of this, if we are able to understand that they'll never be in that place of perfection, but we still need to be able to set up some systems. Now, what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is ways that we can organize our coaching specifically, which will then help benefit us as we lead into the rest of our lives. Because if coaching is in chaos, because I've heard this phrase, guys, how you do anything is how you tend to do everything. Now, that's a generalization. Can you hear that again? But how you do anything is how you tend to do everything. So if we skim on one thing, or I don't know, again, an example would be like, if I tend to cheat on small things, I tend to cheat on bigger things. If I tend to be whatever, okay? If I tend to be surface level on some things, I tend to be surface level on a lot of things. If I go deep on all the same. So what I'm going to talk here real quick is the fact that, this is a good quote that I read earlier. If everything is a priority, then really nothing is. Does that make sense? If everything is a priority, then really nothing is. And the key about that, guys, is the fact that we're going to sometimes have to decide one thing's priority over another, okay? And it won't be always the easy choices, because it's never the choice, especially when we're in life, where it's like, between a really good thing and a really bad thing, right? It's very rarely is it that choice. And that doesn't end up being a choice, because it's like obvious. It's like, oh, of course I'm going to choose the good thing. But what happens is, when there's choices to be made, especially as it relates to our schedule, sometimes there's better choices to be made than others, okay? So let's give some quick examples of this. Now, if you are, and I would just say on this as a rule, if you are going to be building your business and you're just getting started to building your business, and you see, let's say you look at a top coach, a good example, like Melanie Mitro, and you say her and you go, wow, I need to be doing stuff like her. She's doing awesome. And you look at her blog and you go, hey, I should have a blog too. You know what? And I should also have a YouTube channel, because she's got a YouTube channel and she gets lots of hits on YouTube. So I should probably have that too. And you know what? Her Instagram's pretty amazing, as I've looked over there. So she's got the Instagram thing on. So I got to get Instagram too. And you know what? She has a like page too on Facebook, not just her personal page, but she has a like page. So I should probably get that too. You see what ends up happening? When you start looking at all those things, you start to say, hey, I've got a all these things are priority, then ultimately you're gonna implode. You're gonna go crazy because you can't do all those things simultaneously. And the truth is, Melanie, absolutely. You lose focus. Yeah, lose focus as a new coach when you add too much. And so really what we try to do here, guys, is we really want to encourage you to focus in, especially as it relates, and we're going to talk about social media here in a second. But as it relates to social media, particularly, focus on one. Focus on doing one well, okay? If you feel like you're looking, and now again, it's dependent on who you are. I tend to really to lean towards Facebook as a whole. And the reason why I tend to lean towards Facebook is it's first of all, it's universal. A lot of people have it. And then two is the fact that it gives you a lot of room to tell story well, to integrate with links, lots of different ways to integrate, especially with in Facebook groups, all the stuff where we tend to live. Instagram is fantastic, and there's a lot of great things about it. We're actually going to get some training about it. For those of you who want to go a little bit deeper on that, hopefully in this next month, I've got some people potentially lined up to help us with that. But the idea is if we are trying to do Instagram and YouTube and a blog and all this simultaneously, we're going to implode. We're going to go crazy, okay? So I want to encourage you guys, as we're getting organized, you prioritize. Now, we're going to start with some vital behaviors here real fast, okay, before we move much further, okay? So the vitals. If we are doing these things consistently, guys, you're going to make progress with your business. So first of all, it's being proof the products work. So if you decide at any point in your journey somehow that doing my work, I don't have time to do my workout, but I sure should check up with my challengers. Or I don't have time to drink my Shakeology, but I sure should, I don't know, whatever you would do coaching-wise. Okay, I'm going to do a social media post or whatever. I don't have time for that. No. Because ultimately that's going to cut down your belief in what we do. Okay, so really, guys, your health and fitness journey is number one priority. Number one priority. And if there's a choice between a coaching activity and you making sure that you're getting done your main stuff to take care of you, I'm going to tell you guys, choose every time to stick with you, because if that fuels the fire. Because long term, if you make too many decisions on that, and where you now on occasion, yeah, all right, I understand if there's a spot where you have to miss something or whatever. But if you're going to switch out coaching or taking care of you when it comes to your health and fitness, I'm going to say always resort to you, always default to you. Okay. Then the rest of these here, let's skip to number 4 real fast, and then we'll come back to the others. But number 4, doing personal development. Now, how many of you are currently reading some form or listening to some form of personal development? Can you raise your hand or type in a chat or something like that? That would be fantastic if you would. Yep, Kelsey is, Bonnie is. If you are not yet doing this and you're newer coach, you'll probably just need some help to find something, okay? Lots of good resources that we have. It's actually included in the 5-day Coach Basics training that is currently in existence. We're retooling some of that, okay, guys? That was going to help us ultimately for our new quickstartmycoaching.com training. If you search quickstartmycoaching.com right now, you're not going to see anything because there's nothing up, but I do have the URL. So that's going to be up soon. So just want to kind of make clear, guys, that what ultimately we're going to be having some good personal development in your life is going to help you with belief, which is going to help you with ultimately helping you build your business in this, okay? So these vital habits are going to be critical. Now let's move into recognizing. So recognizing is as you get people into your challenges and you get people making progress, you're going to recognize them, and then eventually as you get coaches, you shout them out as well. Some of you have been shouted out, right? Right? Yes, you've been shouted out, and that's been really cool. Did that feel good? Yes, it did. Did it affirm you and help you work harder? Yes, probably. Danielle, yes? Good? Absolutely. So those things matter. And what we realize, guys, is that affirmation, too many people in our society don't get any affirmation in their jobs or in their training, especially stay-at-home moms, Oh my goodness. Like it's the thankless job of life sometimes because the laundry never ends, the cooking never ends, the changing diapers never ends. So stay-at-home moms, I say bless you because man, so when you get in an environment that, especially so stay-at-home moms, and truly guys, gonna be real on this, as it relates to Beachbody, stay-at-home moms by far are the biggest growing market in terms of Beachbody coaches because they are looking for, first of all, ways to get themselves in shape, get some extra income for the family, and be affirmed. 3 really cool things. So if you know stay-at-home moms and you are close to that age, I would think about that, okay? How do I reach out to stay-at-home moms? What kind of things do stay-at-home moms need to be knowing, okay? Sorry, that leads into our last point here, which is number 2, invite, invite, invite. So guys, as it relates to inviting, it's really, really critical to make sure that that is part of your daily practice. And I'm telling you, in the beginning, it's scary as all heck. Okay? And I'll say this for you so you all can have a peace and all rest easy. The first 500 invites are hard. Then it gets easier. I'll say that again. The first 500 invites are hard. Then it gets easier. If you're doing on average, yes, it does. It gets so much easier because you start to detach from the emotional side of people saying yes or no. Because initially, it's horrible. It wrecks you. You're like, and especially because early you're reaching out to some of your friends, right? That's the hardest part, right? And then as you start to get people who are a little bit further removed from you, that you're like more acquaintances and stuff like that, it doesn't sting as bad. But when your best friend goes, no way, I'm not buying that stuff, that's, what is that? Some kind of pyramid scheme, right? And they go, they say that, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to say to that. Oh, I'm freaking out. So yes, so friends and family. Yes, so Kelsey says, more strangers seem to trust the process than friends and family at times. It's true. It's true. Because sometimes friends and family like know your background and know where you came from. And they're like, I know you. And you're like, oh. So sometimes, honestly, guys, unless you've got those really close relationships, and not to say that you can't pull in some of those close relationships, you shouldn't avoid that. But sometimes it's easier to go one layer out past them. Because like sometimes it's really scary to invite your cousin or your uncle or your whatever. That's crazy. Okay, so that's good. Now, guys, as it relates to, now we're going to get a little bit into some social media. So getting organized, guys, so, and then we'll get into some power hour stuff here real fast as well. So priority-wise, inviting on a regular basis. So if you're going to be organized, guys, it's going to be critical for you to have space in your schedule for, and I'm sorry, I don't have a slide for this, for these 4 key things. If you want to write them down, that's great. If you want to type them out, that's great. But these 4 key things, not just the vital behaviors, the vitals is important, but I want to say specifically as it relates to behaviors, you're going to need some regular social media posting, okay? You're going to need to be inviting to something on a regular basis, okay? You're going to need to make sure that you are following up on those invites, okay? And then actually part of the first one of this, which I have on my list here, is connecting with new people every day. And what this reminds me of, it reminds me of this. Hold on one quick second here. Seconds? Wait a minute. All right. Boom and boom. There we go. I'm going to share the screen with you. Hold on. Boom. Stop share. New share. How many of you have seen this before? Okay. Yeah. Fit 4. Actually, it says Fit 5. I wonder why that is there, but it shows so Fit 4 is really what it is. We pulled it down from Fit 5, and it is actually Fit 4. And the reason being is that it's too much stress on the whole idea of coaching, especially initially for new coaches. That's a little bit crazy to ask people to coach every minute in the beginning as you get going. So Fit 4 is really adding people, which is adding new people to your network, forming relationships with them, which is everything as simple as just commenting on their pictures. And we mentioned that before. Hey, that's a cute dog. What kind is it? Hey, especially right now, it's spring break. Oh my gosh, that looks like an amazing place. Where are you guys at? That's amazing. And that's genuinely connecting, guys, with folks. So it's just like kind of going through, you're going through your news feed. That's awesome. And you can kind of connect with that. And then ultimately, we're going to invite folks from that list potentially, as you like kind of been connecting with people, you're going to invite them to a free challenge initially. So new coaches. Now, if you want to go for it, I don't ever say that you can't invite to paid regular challenges, because you certainly should and certainly can, okay? But if you're afraid in the beginning, you're worried a little bit, go ahead and start to really consider inviting to free challenges, and make sure that you get on with your upline coach or with me, however you want to do it. We have free challenges that we run every month. Very, very critical part of the process as we develop trust with people, and then ultimately invite them into paid challenges out of that. And then following up with them is so, so critical. Okay, so that's the Fit 4 behaviors, guys. And if you follow this on a regular basis and make sure you stay consistent with it, you're going to make some great, great progress. Okay, and there's specific stuff there that you can see. Now I'm going to share another screen here real fast here. This is going to hopefully be really helpful for you. This is a social media map of some of ways of looking at our social media. I'm going to make it available in the Coach Club tonight. Let's take a peek. So this is a social media week. So if you've ever wondered, it's like, I don't even know what to post. What do I post? I don't even know. So here's some things you can be posting on a regular basis. Now, up here at the top, it says goal. Post 3 to 5 times per day, and it can't be all Beachbody. Now, the more you get into this, the more you probably have license to post about Beachbody. But I think by that point, we start to be a little bit more clever about telling the story, okay? But if you're new in the beginning and you post, like go from, I have never posted about Beachbody before, and then now all I do is post, I've got a Shakeology post, I've got my shirt with my, I've got my workout, I got my containers, I've got what, every post is that, which I know you're like excited about it, but you're just, people are going to run for the hills. They're just going to run. And what you need to make sure that you're doing is you've got some good variety mixed in with your stuff, okay? So in this example, let's look at Monday real fast. Can you guys read that at all? Can you read these things? Not at all? Okay, it's too small. Sorry there for you, Christina. I'll read a bit. But a workout video or a selfie. So when you get done with your workout or whatever, if you get a video, you can do either one of those. That's totally cool. And I would say if you did a workout pic or selfie every day that's exactly the same, there's going to be an issue there, unless you're really particularly interesting in the way you post those things. People will start to get tired of that, so you got to be careful. But accountability group, what's going on in your accountability group? You could maybe be a member of it. You're not necessarily leading it right now. Oh my gosh, it was so great. So-and-so, this great person. You could even shout out a completely not your own customer, but a challenger within that group. You could shout out somebody. This person's doing amazing progress. Oh my gosh, they're great. That's awesome. Then you can ask a question, something simple like, what is, like this, your favorite part of, favorite flower of spring? What's your first car? What's the first date you ever went on? Just crazy stuff like that gets a lot of fun engagement. It starts to build your stuff. We had that call last week. If you want to check that out in the Coach Club, we do have that posted. Mandy Bowes talked to us a lot about doing questions, which are really, really great. Recognition, transformations. What do you love? Like, what is something you really love? Oh my gosh, I love Pinterest. Anybody else? Like, I mean, some people, I'm horribly addicted to Pinterest. Like, does anybody else? Oh my gosh, I totally am doing it. It's funny. By the way, y'all women and your women's clothing and fashion, oh my gosh. how much Pinterest is like. I was like looking at my boards and like people like recommending. There's like 50,000 women in fashion boards, which is like wow. Anyway, so that's a whole side note. But there's a lot of different things you can do, and then as you start to get more experience, guys, you get more coaching. You can do things like Coach Life. Like on Tuesday, there, what is Coach Life like? Well, Coach Life is this. This is what I do. I help out people doing this. This is one way I get to. This is great. I love hearing a story like this from a person. So like just today, this would be a good example. Coach Life for me, which would be a fun thing to maybe shout out for me, be able to say, hey, I love the fact that I just got a chance to actually, this isn't even a person who's in one of my challengers, but I got to actually really encourage a gal today in her ultimate image about her body and herself, and the fact that it's okay to have concerns about, she's just that it's normal, and she's had a baby, and just to reaffirm that it's okay. And to have her have some confidence based on that. So just being real with all this. So this will be available, guys. I just wanted to show you that is going to be available for you to have access to. So that'll be posted in the Coach Club, so you can kind of check that out. Okay, good stuff. Now, as it relates to your organization, guys, it's going to be critical that you stay on the things that have the most impact. So if you spend 4 hours creating a great social media post, and yet don't do any inviting because it's easier to do a social media post, which one do you think is going to probably have more impact? Probably the inviting. And we're going to run to the things that tend to give us most comfort. So if somebody goes, oh, I like the way you do pictures. You're so awesome. Amazing. I love the way you do pictures. And it's like, you're like, great, I'll do more pictures. But that inviting stuff scares the heck out of me. So I'm not going to do it, right? Ultimately. So, but what is going to build your business is inviting. Got to do it. And that's where you're going to have to get past that first 500. Yes, I said it again, first 500 to start to get comfortable with it. And what I'm doing there, guys, even by just saying this 500 thing to you, I'm actually pushing way past your brain's capacity to even think that. Like some of you is like, I've done maybe 2 right now so far. So to go 500, you're like, so I'm just saying, it's going to take you some time, and you're going to get there because we're going to help you, okay? But you got to understand it's going to feel awkward for a while, and it's okay, but it does get there. Let's see. New people, okay, is very, very important, and I want to talk about this particularly. So if you're kind of managing your time, I would say probably, guys, that your ratio of people that are new to people that are existing. Now, you certainly want to make sure you're taking care of the people that you have with you. Okay, so this is for you a little bit more established coaches. I'm going to tell you guys, if you're spending 80% of your time with your old folks, the people who've been with you, and spending only 20% of your time focusing on getting new folks or focusing on the new people getting progress, that's probably a flip-flop of what it should be. Because you want to flip that, because the new blood, and you guys all know this, if you've ever been in a challenge, and you can tell the difference. If there's mostly people who have done a challenge together before, is the excitement high or low? Right? Tends to be on the low side when people are mostly the same. But start to get up a ratio of about 4 or 5 or 6 new newbies in there who are kind of excited, and everybody starts doing this. Woo, hey, let's help the newbies out. Awesome, you guys are great. Great progress, you. And they start shouting it out. But if you spend, here's the deal, guys, if you spend about 80% of your time with those folks who are established, it's just going to pull you down, and then you start managing those people. And I would say the same thing for you as you start to manage your coaches. And I'm going to read this quote to you, and I posted it in the coach message strand earlier. I wrote this out because I believe it's really critical, and I want it to be part of our training ultimately. Are you guys ready? Here we go. As team leaders, as you start to get more progress with your business, okay? So if you leave even 1 challenger or 2 challengers, okay, you start to become a leader. And I'm going to say this, as team leaders, our job is to show the path and to clear the path for new challengers and coaches. That's our job. If we show the path and we clear the path for new challengers and new coaches, but we cannot repeat cannot walk the path for them. We cannot. And if you try and you're like, will you please make sure to check in, sweetie pie? Please make sure, honey. Oh my gosh, please. Oh, did you check in? Did you check in today? Did you check? No way. No way. That creates desperation. That creates crazy codependency, and it's awful. The difference, and this is the rest of this quote here that I wrote, the difference between equipping and enabling is substantial. And the price of getting this wrong, costly. Because what you'll do is you'll start to try to manage people. You'll start to run after them in desperation. And y'all remember that guy who overly liked you way too much in high school. He liked you way too much, and he was desperate. And it was, you're like, dude, just seriously. Ugh. Right? Too much. Same thing we do with coaching sometimes, with challengers and coaches. We run after them too much and don't let them own it, own their progress. Then ultimately we've done them a disservice and we actually waste our time, okay? So the path that we try to clear is towards momentum, get them that first set of wins, and they will see that success in this business or in this challenge is in fact possible for them, okay? Sorry, a lot of talking here, guys, but I really do believe that that is going to be a key for you to help make some good decisions. Now, I'm going to show you a tool that I'm using right now that may blow your mind or it may bore you to tears. Okay, are you ready? There's the big setup. Oh, awesome. Guys, when it relates to you getting your people organized, okay, as you organize your potential invites, people you're inviting, your clients, all those things, you have to kind of track these people. And you can do it very simply on pen and paper. Kelsey, she's a pen and paper gal. She's like, writes it down and likes that. I'm going to show you something, like I said, that I think is going to blow your mind. You ready? It's a new software that I've run across that is called Close. Let me grab it real fast here. Okay. All right. Here it is real fast. It's called Close, which is CLOZE. Okay. What is going on with that? That's kind of nuts. Oh, I knew what happened there. Okay. So let me go here real fast. Okay. So share. Unfortunately, just there it is. Boom, bang. Okay, so Close, guys. This is pretty cool. So Close is basically a software. It's an online tracker system, basically for my customers. And I wanted to just show you real fast here. This is kind of cool. So let's say I'm working with somebody, and this would be a good example. I'm going to say this guy, Mickey Perry. Here's the cool part about Mickey. Check out what it does here. Can you guys see this on the screen? It basically says it ties in all of my emails, any interactions that I've had with him on social media, as it relates to Facebook and Twitter. Instagram's not yet included on this, but I'm sure they're working on that, okay? So you can see, and this is my next step, send video, initial invite, and it kind of shows that this is he's a potential client, and my next step is to send him a video, okay? I'm gonna send him the video. So far, let's take a peek at what he's actually done. I've sent an initial invite with him, I've followed up on that invite, and I've asked him some initial questions. So I'm waiting on these initial questions before I send him a video, which is kind of describes the overall system that we do, okay? Which is like 21 Day Fix or, you know, with Beachbody M&M or whatever, okay? So that's pretty cool. And what that does is what this does is it tracks. It's called Close. It's C-L-O-Z-E. So Claire, and just so you know, this is the cool thing about this, is Claire and I were using a system, a part of this that was called Teamzy. And Teamzy was it's specifically designed for Beachbody coaches. It had a lot of cool features, but it was about $30 a month. Not worth it. Too much money. Too much money, especially for newer coaches, too much money. In this case, and this is where you could kind of decide on this, the first month of this system is about $17. If you can get, there's a discount thing, like potentially we can work out with getting $17, $19 moving forward, or I'm going to actually probably pay for the full year, which will be at $13 a month. And dude, $13 a month, keep your people organized, killer good investment. It's about 100, I think it's 140, I think bucks is, which I know some of you are like, man, I'm not making any money. This is crazy. But for me, 140 bucks is like a no-brainer to be able to keep things organized. So it's CLOZE, okay? And really what I'm doing, guys, is I'm actually working with them right now to even develop some stuff potentially that could actually specifically have like scripts built in for Beachbody coaches so you can stay more organized to actually have a script. Go, okay, what's my follow-up? So this would be a good example. If I clicked on the sent video, bam, I could actually know what my follow-up would be because it would give me a script based on it. So, okay, this is my follow-up. Hey, have you checked out this video yet? Boom, here you go. And actually you just copy and paste it, which is pretty sweet. So lots of cool potential with Close. It does take a little bit more work, guys, but here's the thing. Too many of us are pretty sloppy when it comes to this. And I admit I've been sloppy in the past on this. Is I use Facebook Messenger as my checkups. It's like I kind of page up like, oh, who did I check in with last? Zip, zip, zip. Oh, there's a person they haven't. Not a system. That's not how a pro does things. And really, ultimately, I want to make sure that we as a team starts to get a little bit better at this. Yep, exactly. Why does this scare me? Yes, it does scare you. It's actually pretty scary. And the cool thing, though, is that it is actually fully integrated with both iPhone and Android, which is great. So it's all right there. And it looks exactly the same as this, which is really, really cool. So, and then you can get right to your inbox. You can see who's messaged you, what you need to do there. Your agenda for each day is actually there. So it says, this is, I think, really awesome. So it can integrate with Evernote. It can integrate with Dropbox. It integrates with your calendar. It integrates with your email. It integrates with, like I said, Facebook and Twitter. Dude, it's really pretty cool. So I'm not telling everybody to necessarily go and sign up for this right away, but I would just put it on your radar because I'm going to start to roll this out more, and I'll actually do I'm going to do a full out YouTube video explaining how I use it as I get it a little bit more solid. But I wanted to give you this as that there is some way of organizing your people into your contacts so you know where they're at in the process. Because too often, guys, are just being real on this, we let people fall through the cracks because we haven't tracked them properly, okay? And the more we can track them, the more we're apt to follow up with them, okay? And then you've got reminders. That's the cool thing about this thing is it actually sets up reminders. That's why I like it a little bit better than the written system. For me, sometimes the written system is there, but I can literally see, follow up with this person on whatever date, and I'll just glance right past it. Versus bing, pops up in my thing, says follow up. So like right here, this is a good example. This one says Shay Nostine, overdue to connect. I should probably connect with her. Bang, which is really pretty cool. So it generates that stuff for you. And the price is actually pretty decent. The $30 a month was crazy, just being real on that other system. But $19 even just to start and try it for a month or two and see if that works for you and helps you. It might be worth it. You might get like 3 or 4 more sales out of it just because of the fact that you're using a system, right? Okay. So that's that. Now, quick back, stopping share. We're almost done here, guys. Thanks for your patience. And we'll kill that. Back over to this screen. And boom. Wait. This one. I think. Yes, that's it. All right. So key things here, guys, as you are like takeaways as we're moving forward with this is really ultimately for us to make sure that we got some kind of time scheduled on our schedules to do what we need to do. Now, I don't know if depending on what your life is like, but when I was particularly doing this as a part-timer, not as a full-timer. Now, just being real, I've got a lot more flexibility during the day now. So I can do my power hour whenever I want to within this, okay? And actually my power hour is more like a power 2 hours, just so you know, okay? And as you get more experience, and I'm a full-timer and this is what I do, that would be appropriate, right, to have a full power 2 hours. But now the cool thing is I'm really trying to kind of get more organized with this. So I'm not just working all the time, but I'm working about 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day. And here's the cool thing, guys. Just kind of settling that for you. The more organized you get, and especially if you do initially, if you can go like, you know what, I'm going to do 20 minutes to a half hour up early, and then I'm going to do 20 minutes to a half hour later, some point, maybe late afternoon, early evening, later evening. That's a power hour, right? That's a power hour. And you can do that. And I did that consistently for my first 2 years to 3 years of doing this. That's what I did. I did it early morning, and I did it later in the evening. And that's a little bit of sacrifice on a regular basis, okay, will ultimately get you some great results. And I would say this, guys, real fast. And you saw this at the bottom of this real fast. Hold on, let me get rid of that. That you can see, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found ultimately, guys, in our daily routines, okay? And that daily routine that's consistent, this is from Darren Hardy's book called The Compound Effect, that consistency day in, day out is going to make a huge, huge difference, okay? And if we can take that sacrifice and ultimately realize why we're doing it, that we're doing it for a great, great reason and a great, great cause, man, it's so good, and we do it together, and we encourage each other. All right, any questions moving forward? I know I covered a lot, and it was kind of a little bit all over the board tonight. But those power pockets, guys, getting organized, having a power pocket set. How many of you, by the way, real quick question, how many of you have semi-defined times when you're working your business? Pretty reasonably defined, or is it just kind of all over? So Bonnie has it, Jen has it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So having those set times really matters, guys, because otherwise it just sort of becomes when you try to fit it in. And that would be like if you kind of equate that to working out. It's like, well, I'll fit it in when I can. How well does that work out for most people with workouts, right? That's what ends up happening. So it's the same kind of thing. Okay. Questions for the good of the order? All right. Thank you for your time tonight, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording. Very good. Hold on. There's a chat. There it is. Ending.